So yes, I really did want this Jinty, but not performing like you're going to see now. So as you can see, it's very jerky, and I just don't like, I want them to go smooth. Once you did it quicker, it wasn't too bad. So its replacement duly arrived from them, and yeah, it's all right, hopefully. A bit of a pain with this. They put it under the back of my car, saying it is in the safe place, and I never designated a safe place. So I don't know what was going on there, but I did get it. Lots of bubble wrap around the box, which is good to see. But unfortunately, it's still rattled around, as you can see there. It's not exactly tightly packed, is it? And yes, it's this. This was a similar price, within a few pence, and in fact I didn't have to pay any more for it after the price of the Jinty. And I like the way the little booklet fits in the box. That's very good without having to fold it. And here she is. Fairly plain, to be honest, which I want. I don't want glarish locos, to be honest. And there she is. And if you look, which I'll show you a bit closer up, it said lined, and you think, lined? But yeah, in a minute you'll see. It is lined, but they're very, very fine lines. And there we are. Look at that. Pretty good. Does seem to be a bit of glue showing there, but it's only because it's tight on the picture, I think. And the detail is lovely. Absolutely great. Can't fault it. So, you know what I'm going to say next, don't you? How did she run? And the answer to that question is wonderfully. Look at this. And because she does this, I will keep her. But it's not all good. I watched Sam's Train's test of this from a couple of years ago, and the pickup mechanism is convoluted, to say the least, and it's a split chassis. And on his DC one, it wasn't particularly good, I would say, although it did run once it was running at a reasonable speed. If it did this all the time, I'd be great. But you'll see in the points check-in bit that it doesn't quite do that. The sound, however, is good. I like the sound. Sounds good, must admit. So unfortunately we don't have to wait until the points test to see the problems with these pickups. And as you hear on, cue. And I don't honestly think it's my track. I did clean it, and I also gave the wheels a clean because they were pretty dirty. So I think this is all down to the type of pickup that they use. Go back a couple of years, you can see what Sam made of these. Yeah, why don't they just stick with wipes on the back of the wheels? They work. Anyway, I'm pleased with how it runs, and if it keeps stopping, but I think it's going to be a case of giving it a good run in and see if that helps the connectivity of them. Yeah. So yes, here's the points test, and as you'll see, it runs quite well, and then boop, it just stops. And you'd normally say, well, it's the track, isn't it, or the wheels, or whatever. But I really do feel in this particular instance, it's the pickups. Pickups are on the axles, and they've got to be hitting the axle, haven't they, to conduct the electricity. So yeah. So saying about this, it seems to expire on that same point. So could it be something to do with the point? Perhaps I should run another loco at that speed over this point and see if that stops as well. But I don't believe it is that. I really don't. So it's not particularly bright, but it is there. But you might have noticed I've got a hole in my loco. And this is actually how it came. This was like this in the box. And it wasn't loose in the box. So rather than all the fluff of going back and trying to get one, I thought I'd make one to go in here. So a bit of the wire I used on the points on the layout and ease it into the hole rather than drilling the hole out. And then just marking the height, as you can see that little nick. And then I didn't really want it just to be a bit of pipe, so I put a flute in it like that with a file. Then I cut it off and rounded the top of it a bit. I put a bit of white glue, PVA, into the hole. Put it in with some tweezers and give it a push with the finger and hopefully it did. Yes, it's a bit brighter than what's in there. And it is copper, isn't it, as opposed to brass. But we'll have to see. I can always dull it down if it glints a bit too much, doesn't it? So there she is on the tracks. Looking okay, I think. So let's go into this next bit. So you've been introduced to my Jinty replacement, the Hunslet. And I didn't think it was doing a long piece on this because obviously it's 2 years old and there'll be loads of videos on it. So rather short, wasn't it? So in it I did say about the connection to the axles for the connectivity. Now I haven't run it in yet. And what I said in that was I should show other locos over the same bit of track. And that's what I'm going to do. So below me and around me are all the locos that I'm going to try. And we'll see how they get on. Now, I've not cleaned the track. And these locos have been sitting in my display cabinet since I last used them. And again, I've not cleaned anything. It's as they came out of the cabinet. So let's see how they get on, shall we? What I will say is, I think it's a lovely loco, this little Rapido Hunslet. It needs a stay alive in it because of the way that they've chosen to pick up the current. But we'll have to see if it improves after being running a bit, which I haven't done yet. It's still miles to hot, and it's nearly, I think it's nearly 28 in here while I'm recording this, and it's far too hot and I'm getting out. So let's have a look to see how we get on, shall we? So first of all, I thought I'd just check that the track is okay. So I'm using my meter here, and I've set it to the 200 there. You see where the arrow is? And when you touch the points together, it does that. So if I touch this onto the rails, it should show that we've got connections. So that's what we're going to do. This is obviously without any power to the track. So although I've only shown this one, I did do the others just to check that I didn't have any problems. No, as far as I can see, you know, it's all connected through. There's a lot of droppers on these. I did put a lot of droppers when I did the layout. So I then went and put the power on, and although it reads rather low, you might think, at 10 or 9 volts. Remember, this is DCC, it's not strictly the same. But again, I tried the points and I've gotten power in every bit. Well, look at the Hunslet again from what you've already seen and see what it does. And yeah, it stops. I think it's where the axles are being moved about when it's sort of turning and going over the connections, and it just unconnects it basically. All 3 axles, or at least enough of them not to get the power through. And this is when I started doing all the others. So I've set it to do 12 miles an hour on my E-Link on the computer, and I will set all the others to that, and we'll see how they go. Now they will all go at different speeds because of the gearing, but basically they're set at 12. So as you can see, with a stay alive, I don't think we do it, but you can hear it sort of stuttering, and even if it doesn't stop, it don't like it, does it? So it seems to have actually got worse rather than better since I last did it, and I was running it probably a bit quicker than I did before. So yeah, not great, is it? So we'll give it a good run up in the loft when it cools down, the loft that is, not the loco, and see if it improves. I'll run it over this again, but not in this video. It'll be long enough, we'll find out. So remember, this is an 060 loco, pickups on all the wheels. So let's try my smallest one, my 040, and see how she does, shall we? So yes, she is at 12 miles an hour on my controller, but as you can see with the very low gearing, it's a hell of a lot slower, isn't it? So let's see how she does, shall we? And let's face it, if this little loco can go over all my track without stalling once, watch to the end to see if that's true, every other loco should be able to do it, you would have thought. So yes, running at this speed, it does take quite a time to get across the track that's going to go across, but I do feel it's true to try and show that it is doing it. And as you can see, I've got that set at 12. So let's see her coming back. It is very slow. I'm sure, you know, if we were running it as a real running session, she would be going quite a bit quicker than this. But as I said, I'd do it at 12 on the controller. I've done it at 12 on the controller. And you just wonder what the Hunslet would have done at this speed. Yes, I'm not going to try it. So I did say, didn't I, that yeah, if she gets across all these points, she's doing well, isn't she? But she did block her copybook on this one, unfortunately. But you know, I'm quite impressed with this little loco. Absolutely great. So let's now go and look at the other Rapido loco I've got, the 15XX, and see how this one goes. So again, this is at 12 miles an hour on the controller, and yeah, you know, again, it's, you know, it's just been sitting in the display cabinet since I last ran it, Obviously this one did have to go back to Rapido to get the pickups sorted out, because they stopped working completely on this one. But you know, you sort of wonder how long before it'll do it again, and then will I have to pay to have it sorted? Because I don't think it's something you can do yourself. It's right inside the chassis, which is a stupid flaming way of doing it. The same as on the Hunslet, in fact. So if you've seen Sam's Trains one on the Hunslet, you'll know what I'm talking about. So she's done very well. If they all perform like that, you'll be happy, wouldn't you? So let's go and have a look at my Hornby Jinty railroad one. It's sound fitted, swapped from another one by me. And yeah, she did okay, I must admit. Again set at 12. And I don't think you can complain really. The only trouble with this one is it's obviously got the fixed couplings, which is one of the reasons I wanted the Bachmann Jinty. But there we are. Yes, I know I can change them if I had a mind to, but you know, whatever. So now let's have a look at my Hornby 08. Now people say, you know, the stay alive in the new Bachmann is required. Well, not in this one, I don't think. And this is only set at 7, as you saw. So let's follow her through and we'll see if she does the whole route without a problem. And you know, I think this is quite slow enough to be realistic, isn't it? If she was coming up to a couple up to something, and you probably run her a bit quicker than this, to be honest. But I didn't do 12 because I just thought it was a bit unrealistic. Remembering these only had a top speed of 15 miles an hour, didn't they? But yeah, again, she's been sitting in the cupboard since I last used it. Although it was in the Bachmann 08 video, it didn't actually move, it just sat there. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I think you could safely say that I proved my point in that the system on the Rapido Hunslet is not really fit for purpose on a layout like this. I'm sure when I get it up on the upstairs layout, the roundy, and run her around, she'll be probably a lot better. But you know, would you tend to use that little loco on this sort of layout? I think you probably would. No, as far as I'm concerned, it's not fit for purpose. And if she doesn't improve after running in, I think I probably will try and see if I can go to Road and Rails and see if they can send me a stay alive to put in it, assuming there's enough room inside to do it. Hopefully Richard will know. But there we are, I've done that. So what we're going to do now, I just thought I'd like to run these coaches. Now there's the lit destination board, and I put a destination in it, Potter's Bar, and we'll just see her coming into the platform, and then the N7 that's pulling away so that another loco can take the rake back, as it's actually too long to do a run around. So this is an Oxford Rail N7, and I have two of these, and unfortunately I've got to say that both of these are not working. This one actually stopped. I couldn't actually do what I wanted because it just would not go. It's almost as though it's lost the drive. So another thing to look at, I'm afraid. Never mind. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a like. It does help. I'm sure it does.